Hey, this is Lotus Express. This is Chad Elijah. I'm here with Rachael Messer, guys. She's a voice actress in many video games, many animes that you probably either don't know about or extremely know about in the video game world. Now, tell us a little bit about some of the games that you're in, some of the voice acting, and all of that good stuff.
Okay. So some of the games that I'm most well known for are I'm Comba in Warframe.
All right.
I'm in Heroes of New Earth. I voiced 4 different characters in that, which is kind of like a League of Legends type game. And then I'm in Yandere Simulator as the teacher.
Very cool. Now, with some of the gaming that you do, how did you actually get into voice acting? Because you're really good at what you do. I've heard some of the stuff, some of the reviews on what you've done, and I've actually played some of what the video game side. I've played some of what you've been in, so you're really good at it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So how did you actually get into like the voice acting part of it?
So the way I got into it is I was a theater major in college, and I was 3 years into my degree when I realized that there's not a huge need for actors out there. Like, it's not a well-hiring thing. So I was talking to a friend. I was like, look, I don't want to go to Broadway and, do plays there because I just don't want to move to New York. I don't want to go to LA and have to compete with like the film industry side of things. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. And so my friend goes, oh, well, you're really good at doing different voices. Why don't you get into voice acting? And I didn't think that I did a whole bunch of voices. The way I found out that I did is like if I have a lot of sugar, I'm kind of hyperactive, and my voice goes all over the place. Like it reflects that. So I started just making notes of what voices I was doing. And I went online like, as a theater major, you're taught that if you want to learn Shakespeare, you start taking Shakespeare workshops.
Right.
If you want to learn miming, you take some miming classes. But the only voiceover classes I could find were like $600 to $700. And I wasn't willing to invest that amount of money to get started in something. So I just kind of like Googled auditions. My entire career was basically trial and error. And since I've started being professional, I go out and I try to market, like I'll teach voiceover workshops via Skype and in person, and I really market it towards the people that were a lot like me, where maybe you don't want to drop several $100s in something you just want to learn about. So I'll charge like $25 to $50 for something, and 50 are like I'll rent out an entire recording studio for people.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's very cool.
So I try to like really reach out to people because that's something that I love to, there's people out there that have this huge passion for voice acting that don't know where to start. And being someone who was one of those people, I really try to reach out and be like, let me guide you, let me help you, little student, little grasshopper, walk this way. So yeah, I just started Googling auditions. I found a couple websites that were free, and just slowly I did more and more projects, and things started to, become paying. And I was very lucky that within my first year, I got work at Funimation, which helped the resume a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and just like when you get into voiceover, you start to realize there's a niche. Like there's something, some people are just drawn towards commercials, some people are drawn towards anime. My thing was video games, and I think it's because, like, as a kid, I played a whole bunch, and, there's just those things that just really spark a fire in you, and that was video games for me.
True. That's true, and I play a lot of video games myself. God of War was my big favorite video game that I played, and, a lot of my stuff was, like, PS3, PS4, that sort of thing. A huge Sony fan. So video games are, like, out there, but they're getting there where the evolution of video games are just, it's amazing. It's amazing how fast the evolution of video games are actually increasing.
Yeah.
Through that. So, would you have any advice to all the people that want to get into voice acting that maybe really, your story is pretty amazing.
Thank you.
It is. You said it's all about trial and error. That's pretty true.
Yeah.
Our business was a lot like that too. It was very trial and error when I first started. So I do understand that.
Yeah.
Very much so. With the new people that are wanting to get into voice acting, do you have any ideas or recommendations or anything like that?
I would say that when you want to get started, any acting lessons you can find in general are going to be helpful. I recommend that you get into plays. Community theater is a huge blessing and something that you can easily get into. A lot of high schools will have an acting or a drama section you can take, and then colleges will have classes. You don't necessarily have to get, I got a bachelor's degree in theater performance. you don't have to do that. There's tons of people that got degrees in other things that just kind of fell into voice acting. But just so long as you have just a basic understanding of acting and then a passion to learn about speech and study vocal patterns and things like that, you can kind of get started and get on your way for that.
See, Funimation is pretty amazing too. I've talked to Jamie Marcy, or I talked to some of those guys at Funimation at one point a couple of years ago, and that company is pretty outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamie Marcy is pretty amazing, and she's real nice. Yeah, she's from OKC.
Yeah.
I met her down in Dallas at one point. So, but real nice girl, And with the stuff that you're doing, I guess how can I ask this? As far as the video games that you're doing now, do you see yourself doing more video game work in the future?
I mean, I love working. Oh.
Okay.
Okay. I love working in any field, but video games specifically because it was such a huge part of my childhood.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's really cool to be like, I can play my character. So I can see, like, I'm not a super great fortune teller, but I would like to think that my future will hold more video games than anything else, because that's where my heart lies and the passion comes from.
Heart's important. Yeah, you got to make sure to follow your heart. Mm-hmm. So I was just kind of wondering, because I'd love to see you on TV eventually. I mean.
I am working on a couple films. Right now I'm in a series called It's Just Brunch, which is made by South Park's Toby Morton.
That's awesome.
And so we did the first episode, and it's all filmed and everything, and you can find the trailer online. And I play Eleanor in that series. And I think right now they're in talks with just making it a full-length movie, or if they're going to keep it as a series. And then I just filmed another video that I kind of I can't really release, but it was based in Oklahoma City and is going to be on DVD and available in stores and everything.
That's awesome.
But since I have an NDA, sadly, as much as I want to promote it, I'm like.
No, I totally understand the disclaimers and contractual agreements. So we don't want to talk about anything you can't talk about. But I'd love to see you on TV eventually. I mean, you're such a phenomenal actress with what you do, and so I mean. I love to see your evolution of where you're gonna go next.
I mean, only time will tell. We'll see where it goes. Because I do a lot of film, maybe it'll go that way. Right. I wouldn't be opposed to it. But because I'm not out in LA, I don't know. I'm super close with the film people in Oklahoma and in a little bit in Texas. But we'll see where it goes.
Absolutely. Now, for any supporters that may not have known about you prior to the event, is there anywhere that we can go to actually support what you're trying to do?
Yeah. You can go to my website, which is rachaelmesser.com. It's just RACHAELMESSER.com. Okay. And it's got all my stuff. If you want to check out a video game that I'm in, I have all the links there so you can click and play them. I've got links to the videos that I'm in that you can go download. And then if you want to do private lessons, or you want information, or you just have general questions, like maybe you have a question that you want more information about, you can feel free to contact me through the contact forum anytime.
Very cool. Are you on Facebook as well, or?
My Facebook page is Facebook.com/Rachael Messer Actress, and then I'm on Twitter as well, at Rachael Messer.
Very cool. Well, Miss Messer, thank you so much for all the time this evening. I really appreciate it. I know our fans out there really appreciate it as well. Check out Rachael Messer, guys. Voice actress, extreme, very, very cool chick. And if you have any advice, go to these different websites and she'll be able to help you out, it sounds like. Come check out lotuscomics.com, and we will talk to you here real soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.